Hey guys, welcome back to an interesting video on Wild Rift. Today we're back with a pretty interesting one. We have today a Kalista top supplementary guide. So of course, this one is pretty interesting because we are of course playing an ADC in the top lane. We'll talk a little bit more about that when we get into the gameplay, but for now let's talk about the loadout. Now the loadout is pretty similar to Kalista ADC, or almost the same as Kalista ADC, just with some minor changes. So first up, we're going to start off with the Gluttonous Greaves. Of course, this one's really important for you to get the early game attack speed, and this attack speed is very important for you to get in the early game because, of course, with more attack speed, you can hop more often because you attack more often. So first item is going to be the Bork. Bork, of course, is going to give you the little bit of AD, again, more attack speed, physical vamp, and of course, it's going to give you the current health on hit, which is generally very useful against most top laners, and of course, the drain passive as well, which is of course going to let you, run people down and also burst them a little bit. So your next two items are interchangeable, so you want to go for Runan's Hurricane for the attack speed, applying your on hit on your 3 bolts, and of course attacking 3 people at the same time, as well as giving you a little bit of AD core item on Kalista. Next core item is going to be Terminus, gives you AD and attack speed magic damage on hit, as well as of course giving you stacking armor and magic resist, as well as stacking penetrations. Now I think for top lane, this build order is actually better to go for Terminus second and Runan third, because when you reach your second item, you are still kind of in lane, and getting Terminus is going to be more useful than getting Runans. But in the game you saw, you're going to see later on, I actually went for this order because when I based, I only had enough for Runans and I didn't have enough to complete Terminus, so I just decided to get the Runan Spike instead of the Terminus Spike. And for the last two items, at this point you generally have enough damage already, so you want to go for something more defensive. Now if you are into a very heavy AP team, or there's like 1 or 2 fed AP threats, actually a Wit's End here would do very well, so you could go something like this. But in the game that I was playing into very heavy AD, so instead I decided to go for Twin Guard. Twin Guard of course gives me both armor and magic resist, so technically it works against both, but this one's really good for giving you resistances, especially in those fights that you are in, where you auto attack a lot and you're in the fight for a long time. And finally, I like to take Sterak's here. Sterak's gives you health. You might be wondering why not take Shield Bow. Yes, Shield Bow does give you nice stats and it does give you the shield as well, but for Sterak's, it gives you health, which with the help of Twin Guard and Sterak's, you're going to be, really tanky compared to what enemies imagine. And you also get more base AD, which of course Kalista doesn't really have a lot of AD in her build, but getting more base AD is always going to be helpful. And of course you get the lifeline that will give you a shield when you're low on HP. So for the runes, obviously we have Lethal Tempo for the attack speed and the attack range, no surprise there. Brutal, of course, just to, get more damage on your auto attacks. Of course, you have Giant Slayer to counter the tanks, and here I like to go for Bloodline because we already have a lot of attack speed items. I think getting some Omni-Vamp here is going to be more helpful. And for Kalista top especially, I like to go for Sudden Impact because every little hop that you do procs Sudden Impact, and this is going to allow you to get the extra lethality and harass the top laners even more, which is definitely part of Kalista top's playstyle. Finally, for the spells, I like to go for Flash and Exhaust all the time because Exhaust is very useful against top laners who want to go melee and go in on you, and as well as just in general, just against assassins, against other ADCs, etc. Exhaust is just OP. So with all that said, let's move on to talking about our gameplay. Okay, so now moving on to the gameplay itself, of course with Kalista top. You can see here I was walking to the Dragon lane right here, and I realized that, wait a minute, I'm not the Dragon laner, I am the Baron laner. But basically, first things first, let's cover why we want to pick Kalista top. Well, basically for me, I always think the top laner should be a fighter or a tank, but the issue is I suck at playing top laners, right? I'm an ADC main, I play basically only ADCs, so basically I can't really play top laners very well. So my personal thought is, it's better to play a champion you can play well than to try to play a champion that's good for your team or good for your comp that you can't play well. I always think champion mastery is the most important, so in my case, I obviously can play ADC, so I'm going to pick an ADC top, be it Kalista, Lucian, or whoever, but I think Kalista is a very strong top lane pick, because you guys can see here, we can basically bully down top laners who are melee, which is going to be the majority of them. Of course, if you're against a Kennen, Jace, these kind of laners, a little bit more difficult, or it could be even a mirror marksman matchup in the top lane. I have seen that a couple of times before. But if you're against a traditional top laner like Volibear here, you can see what you can do is you can actually zone him away from the minions, and if they have no range abilities, they can't really farm. So Volibear still has that, I think it's his E that summons the blast from the sky, so he can kind of get a little bit of farm. But you can see I'm almost level 3 and he has just hit level 2, So when he steps up, I can get in a couple of autos, and here with Kalista, I can auto a minion and then pull back the spears to get a reset. So here he decides to flash on me. This is where my exhaust comes in, so I exhaust him. He goes from all in with the ignite, and I flash forward, get the last blast on him and kill him. I nearly died to minions here because I was a little bit bad with the direction I was jumping, but I do manage to survive, and I do actually manage to kill. I don't even really think I needed to flash there. I think if I just pulled the spears, I probably would have killed him. But you know, just for a little bit of good measure, we toss in the flash to ensure we secure the kill. So yeah, so like I said, Kalista top, I don't really recommend it in general, which is why I'm not really, you know, advocating it. But you guys can see from the thumbnail that, you know, we did get a penta kill this match. It did go really well. Again, I'm not advocating for marksman top or Kalista top. You can see here that though that you know, it does work out well, you know, in some cases. That here we're 2 levels up on Volibear, double his level, and we can, you know, harass him very successfully, and he is having a really bad time. But once again, this is going to ruin your team comp, because your team is going to be missing like a tanky top laner, is going to be missing like a fighter, is going to be missing CC, you know, things like that. And yeah, that's definitely going to be an issue. So of course, do take note of that when you are planning to pick a marksman top. And definitely if you're like a top lane main, I don't recommend you learning a marksman to play in the top lane. You know, I recommend simply just, you know, playing what you normally play, unless maybe Vayne top sometimes can be good. But yeah, you know, normally just normal top laners are just better. Okay, so here you guys can see that this is going to be the main problem throughout the match. They have a Rengar jungle on the enemy team with electrocute. So basically, the moment he ults and jumps on me, I'm basically dead, especially if I'm not under tower or if I'm overextended like I am here. So this is another one of those weaknesses of playing a marksman top, which is basically the fact that you're pretty much always going to be overextended if you're playing well. Because if you're playing well, what you want to do is you want to harass your enemies. You want to zone them off the minions, and that's rarely gonna be, the minions are really gonna be on your side. Here you can see I'm trying to actually freeze on my side here, but this is not really gonna last you know, for very long, because of course we can try to keep the wave here, and we can try to shove the Volibear off of the wave, which is what we're trying to do here. But how much success that's gonna bring, we're gonna have to see you know, soon. So here you can see Volibear is trying to get the wave, and I'm, you know, of course gonna path aggressively forward to try to dissuade him from that. So here you can see he tries to go in on me again. I exhaust him. I'm going to just, you know, auto attack him a little bit. Coming back towards my tower, I'm spamming my auto attacks. I'm stacking up the spears on him. He's getting pretty low. Again, he's igniting. He's trying to go all in, but I have so many spears in his back that I just pull out the spears and I can just get the kill. So this is one of the reasons why Kalista, I think, is one of the strongest marksmen you can play in top. Like you have Lucian, you have Vayne. I think Vayne is really good as well, but Vayne has a cooldown on her tumble, while Kalista has no cooldown on her dash. You can dash non-stop, and really that mobility is where it's at. So here again, Rengar ults me, one-shots me essentially, and I'm just done. Like these 2 times he one-shot me, he didn't even use his empowered ability. This is just his basic combo. So even if I like flashed away or something like that, it wouldn't have mattered. Like, you know, the moment I saw the Rengar ult, you know, I wasn't even able to react and walk away. But even if I walked like 1 or 2 steps, I would have died instantly. There's no point in flashing here because he would die regardless. He still has his empowered you know, passive to cast another spell, so there's no reason to waste flash when you're gonna die anyway. So yeah, you know, we just take the L. We just have to cop another death. So we're now 2-2. But despite the fact that Rengar is you know, literally one-shotting us on repeat, you can see that in terms of gold, we are still 1k gold up on the Volibear, and really the whole rationale of ranged top laners is to crush your enemy laner. So here Volibear actually rotates the dragon. I'm taking a look at the fight here. I don't think it's a good fight at all, so I'm deciding to commit to the tower instead. I can see my Zed's dead, my MF is dead, my Hecarim is on the path to dying, my Blitzcrank is on the path to dying as well. Oh, my entire team dies, and it wouldn't really have made a difference if I was there, in my opinion. So instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I get, you know, something for it. So here I get 2 tower plates, which is 300 gold, and this is of course equivalent to about a kill. So again, widening my gold gap between me and the Volibear. I pick up my Bork, which is of course going to help out a lot in killing the Volibear himself. So that's going to be very come in very handy as well. And now I'm going to head back over to the Herald, which is obviously going to be the next objective contested. Now here, Hecarim straight up just ults in. Rengar is doing the Herald. I'm coming in from the back. I'm trying to hit whoever I can, which is the Volibear in this case. Rengar smites way too early, so I'm focusing the Herald. I get the Mimics, and I'm focusing the Volibear. Volibear realizes he's going to die, tries to turn, but just dies instead. I'm trying to chase down the Ahri with the help of Blitzcrank. Doesn't really work. And now I have the Mimics in hand. I've been auto-attacking the blue buff a little bit just to, you know, dash forward, but I'm actually going to be able to steal the enemy blue buff as well. So here now with the Mimics, I want to proc it onto the tower to get some more plates. The tower, you know, gets hit by the Mimics, and I get another plate. Now I have the DMAT, and I'm going to DMAT the cannon minion. Now because I secured the Herald, I got those Mimics, but in my lane I have another set of Mimics, which is meant for me, because obviously normally the jungler secures the Mimics, and with this Mimics, I am guaranteed to get the first tower, you know, against the Volibear. Now the issue is, I don't know where Rengar is, and I'm scared to overextend. So here I'm actually going to hide in the bush, because I'm expecting Volibear to go for it. You can see it light up, so I know he's there. So here I'm actually just going to go onto him, I exhaust him, and I'm just kiting him away. I use the Kalista W to grant me vision of him, so I'm attacking him over the wall where he can't reach me. He's about to hit the threshold, he dies, but once again Rengar comes in. This time I'm able to actually flash away, and with the help of Zed and my spears I'm able to kill him. Now Ahri is onto me, and I'm having to run the opposite direction again. Now she gets a little bit baited here by the fact I'm low HP. Zed is still around in the area, easily finishes her off, and I get another assist. So I'm 5-2-1 with the assist. I'm going to get the first tower here with the Mimics, just blasting them into the tower. We get the first tower of the game, and we are like 3k gold ahead of the Volibear at this point. So now at this point, you know, Volibear is so far behind already. We don't really need to put him any further behind. What we want to do now is to translate our lead to the other parts of the map. We can see Zed is 4-1-3. He's really fed with 7k gold as well. Hecarim, you know, MF and Blitzcrank on the other hand are not, you know, don't have a huge lead against their counterparts. They're all about the same amount of gold, so it's a very even match, aside from the fact that me and Zed have a huge gold lead. So if you see, our team has a 4k gold lead over the enemy team, and that lead is basically on myself and the Zed. So what the two of us want to do is we want to, you know, translate the lead to other parts of the map, which basically means we want to, you know, kill the you know, enemy jungler. We want to kill the enemy bot lane and get our team kills as well, which is what Zed is doing here. He did get a kill onto the Rengar, but our bot lane did die. So that's a little bit unfortunate. So here I know Volibear is roaming from mid to top, but on the way there, because I have Runans, I clear the wave very quickly. I'm going to pick up the wave, and then I'm going to rotate to top as well, where I know Volibear is going to be at. Volibear just reached top, he's going on to Hecarim, gets the kill on Hecarim, and here my Zed has to dash away. Volibear is hardcore committing onto the Zed, flashes, ignites, and ults for the Zed, and here I'm realizing that I can just come in from behind, I can exhaust him, I can just auto attack him down with my Bork, and with the pull and Zed's ignite, we're able to finish off the kill on Zed. Now Ahri unfortunately goes onto me, instantly one-shots me with her ult combo. Not really very much I can do about that, so she does pick up a shutdown, unfortunately. But now with that, we are 5-3-2. We're still doing very well. Zed has the most gold in the game, and we are really close behind. So we are definitely in a really good spot as a team. We have a very fed ADC, which is me. We have a very fed assassin, which is Zed, and the two of us together should be able to basically deal with majority of the enemy team. I of course can DPS you know, anyone, but the main issue for me is Rengar just one-shotting me, or Ahri catching me out for that matter. Could happen as well. But generally the rest are not too big of an issue. I mean, I guess Caitlyn and Senna does have very long range, so that is kind of an issue for Kalista, because you can't really reach them. So here they are trying to get my tower, so I know my tower is probably gone. I'm just trying to see what I can do about it. I'm just kiting away the from the Volibear. There's not really a lot he can do to me anyway, so you know, why not just, you know, just kite a little bit. So here the next dragon is going to be spawning, but the Scorpion as well as the minions are pushing in, so I'm quickly trying to clear the wave, and then I have the Hex Gate ready to go up and join the fight. So just attacking the Crux to dash to the gate faster, I Hex Gate up right into the blue buff, which I'm just going to conveniently take, and now we're going to go on help the dragon. So here, nice hook by Blitzcrank to pull in the Senna. Senna gets one shot, we get the Drake, and honestly not too much else happens. I don't necessarily even think I was needed here, because we simply secured the Drake and got a pick. But you know, you never know when a fight's actually going to come out, so you want to be there for your team. Here Hecarim is just going to get a reset, and I actually bound myself to the Hecarim this match. You guys saw actually at some point under the tower, I decided to bind onto Hecarim, but I didn't bind at the very beginning, because my thought process was I could bind to either Blitzcrank or Hecarim. Like, Blitzcrank is really good to bind to, you can toss him in, he can ult. Hecarim is also really good to bind to because he's your jungler, you can toss him into the Baron or Dragon Pit for him to steal. You can pull him out to safety when he's in the pit alone. And he's also a melee champion, so it's really good to just ult him in general anyway. So eventually I decided to bind to the Hecarim because I felt that most likely he's going to be in most of the fights I'm at, so he can help to apply the W passive, and I can also pull him out if he is in danger. So that's kind of the thought process I had with binding to the Hecarim instead of binding to the Blitzcrank. But of course binding to Blitzcrank would be fine as well. So anyways, here we're on the mid wave, just picking up some mid lane farm. And my team is really aggressive inside the enemy jungle. I'm not quite sure why Hecarim and Blitzcrank are there, but they're getting collapsed on by the enemy team, as they should be for having such an aggressive position. Blitzcrank is able to walk out. Caitlyn takes the Hex Gate, and we're catching her out. Blitzcrank gets the knock up into the hook, but Stasis comes through. Either way, Miss Fortune out comes through. I'm going to put a few spears in her, and she dies. Now here you can see Rengar's 1 HP, but I know he has W, so I'm flashing forward to ensure we can get the kill on him. I'm going to snipe him with the spear for the double. We pick up the Senna as well. Ahri flashing away to safety. So you guys are wondering, was I flashing forward there to KS? The answer is no, I was not, because we all know Rengar's healing is completely insane. Of course I know he's going to pop his W, so of course I'm going to flash forward there to ensure I can chase him down when he pops the W, to ensure I can kill him. After all, he has been killing me like 2 to 3 times. Actually, he killed me like twice in the laning phase, and I need some revenge. So I'm flashing forward there to ensure that we get the kill on him, which we do eventually get with a Q snipe. But here we pick up the Terminus, so all 3 core items complete. You can see I'm selling my attack speed boots here, and I'm buying the defensive boots, because at this point we don't need attack speed from the attack speed boots anymore. We have 3 full attack speed items, we have more than enough attack speed. What we actually need is survivability. So armor boots here, highest value. They have 4 physical damage champions and only Ahri for magic damage, although Ahri is pretty fed, but obviously we have higher value just going for the armor here. Hecarim picks up a double kill onto the 2 of them, and we get a 3rd kill onto the Volibear eventually. Now here I'm going 1v2 against Ahri and Senna. Now the issue is that I actually get charmed by Ahri. If I didn't get charmed by Ahri, I easily kill the both of them here. I realize I'm in trouble, I start trying to run away, but Ahri clips me with the tip of her orb, and I do end up dying to Ahri again and giving her another shutdown, which is definitely not what we want in this game. We definitely don't want the Ahri to be the one getting fed, because again we're building armor, so she obviously we need magic resist for her, so that's going to make our itemization a little bit harder. But of course we are going into Twin Guard, so Twin Guard is going to give us both resistances, so either way it is going to kind of be all right for us. But anyways, I died, and basically everyone on the enemy team died aside from Ahri, so I think it's still a good trade for my team. And you can see that now after me and Zed got really fed, you can see now Hecarim and MF are also getting fed, so me and Zed have been doing a pretty good job of translating our lead to the rest of our teammates. And on the enemy side, really Ahri is the most fed, followed closely by the ADC as well as the jungler. But obviously Volibear is still out of the game. I mean, at this point I have a 5k goal lead against him. He's kind of not in the game whatsoever. I just come off my death, and I'm trying to chase in. Rengar tries to go onto me, but I'm able to kite him out this time, and we get the kill onto him. I'm really low, so I'm being a little bit cautious here. I don't have the longest range, so I don't really want to overcommit forward, because I can easily get caught out. But we managed to kill everybody with the exception of the Caitlyn and the Ahri, but we should be fine here. Hecarim is pretty low. He is still standing, doesn't go down. And here we're going to lifesteal off of these raptors. You can see that the lifesteal from Kalista are really effective with the Legend Bloodline, as well as of course having lifesteal items like the Bork. I mean, honestly the Bork is the main lifesteal item, because we don't have lifesteal boots or anything like that. So here I'm actually picking up a Stasis, because I'm thinking that probably the main thing that is going to kill me is if Rengar ults and jumps onto me, which has happened twice already. So here we're 2v4 at the moment, and they're on Dragon, so I'm ready to pull the Hecarim out with my ulti if I need to, but I'm definitely not going to commit to this fight, because 2v4 obviously is not good. Hecarim tries to ult Rengar blind, but he completely guesses wrong, and the enemy team picks up the Dragon. Huge wave is at top, so I'm just going to quickly clear this wave and get all of that juicy gold, and yeah, we get ourselves even more fed. Another wave comes in, so we're going to quickly pick up this wave before we join our team. Now here you can see MF is getting caught out. She gets jumped on by Rengar. I'm not sure how she didn't get one shot instantly. She exhausts and she flashes, but she dies. Anyway, we're gonna make our way to the fight. and the enemy team has used a lot of cooldowns. We alt-hacker him out of the fight because he's gonna die. Volibear for some reason jumps in. I dodge it with my jump, and here is where I start to open up on the enemy team. Rengar goes down, you know, Caitlyn goes down, and now I'm on the triple. I know I can get Penta. I'm chasing for the Quadra onto the Ahri, and now Volibear is here. I'm just gonna quickly pull out the Spears for the Penta, and we get the Kalista pentakill, and at this point the game is won. We have a mid wave coming. Blitzcrank even tanks the tower for a little bit. Zed for some reason trying to reset, but we do end up getting the mid lane tower here, and the enemy team sees the writing on the wall and decides to surrender instead of letting us destroy the Nexus. So there we have it. There is the Kalista top gameplay, which definitely does work, but I wouldn't really recommend it. Thank you guys so much for watching the video, and goodbye.